in this video, we're going to have a look at rotoscoping and have a look at some very basic rotoscoping using Flash. Now, rotoscoping is an animation technique where you simply trace over some live action footage. On the screen is an example of some rotoscoping from a film called Waking Life. To start with, whenever you use video in Flash, you really should be working with FLVs, as they're the ones that Flash handles the best. So what I'm going to do firstly is have Adobe Media Encoder open, and I'm going to grab my AVI video, which is just a 10-second clip that has been recorded, and I'm just going to click and drag that in there. Now, to make this an FLV, I'm going to click on the little drop-down arrow where it says Preset, and I'm just going to select FLV Match Source Attribute. Now, if I click on the orange writing next to that, I will get some options. In these options, I'm going to go to Video, and there's one little change I need to make. I'm going to play around with the frame rate, so the frames per second. I'm going to choose anywhere between 12 and 24 for my frame rate, and this just becomes important because it's going to determine really how many drawings you have to do once you're going to actually rotoscope. Now I'm going to click 12. 12 is a pretty good number because it's not very choppy, it'll appear smooth, and there's actually a little less drawings that you'll have to do. So I'm going to select 12, I'm going to check OK, and then all you need to do is hit Start Queue. Now I've already got one exported, so I'm just going to close Adobe Media Encoder, and my FLV is already here. Now in Flash, what we're ultimately going to be looking at is this rotoscoping technique that's just on the screen there. So I've only got 5 frames there already set up, and that's really what we're going to be looking to play around with. Now, to import our video, I'm firstly going to create a new document, ActionScript 3.0, and you simply go to File, Import, Import Video. The video is on my computer, so I'm going to click Browse and select the video, the FLV version. I'm going to choose Embed FLV in the timeline, and I'm going to go Next. Now I don't need the audio, so I'm going to get rid of that. You can leave the audio in, that's not a problem. If you do leave the audio in, just realize it will make your file size a little bit larger. And I'm going to hit Next. It's going to give me a little rundown of what I selected, and when I hit Finish, video will appear. Now I'm just going to close this one because I've already got it opened up in a previous file. And what you just need to do is add in a new layer. So layer 2 will appear. And then what you want to do is add in some blank keyframes. So to do that, you can simply right click and say Insert Blank Keyframe, or you just continue to press F6. Now if I was to rotoscope this entire video, I would need to do that for the length of this video, which was 11 seconds and 410 frames. But I'm not going to worry about that for the moment. I'm going to go back to frame 1, where I've already done a little bit of the rotoscoping. And all I've done here is select my brush tool. I've just selected one of the smaller brush strokes and simply traced around the sections that I want to draw. Now you can zoom in, and this is a bit of a rush job, so if you're actually going to do this with a lot more detail, you will get a much greater effect. So I'm just going to trace and try to add some detail where I see some curves, and I'm just going to trace the arm of this person around the elbow. There's some creases. It's always good to add in creases. And the better you get at this and the more you practice, the more adventurous you'll become with actually shading in certain features and making it look far more realistic. Now, the one big thing about rotoscoping is that it's obviously very time consuming. You need to go frame by frame and continue to repeat your process over and over on every frame that you want this effect to appear on. So it can take quite a long time, and you have to show some patience with that. Now I'll just do this one as my last one. So finish off the elbow and the creases around the arm. And the one last thing you can remember is you can use onion skinning to see what you drew on the previous frame. So that is a little feature that you can use in Flash to see where you've previously drawn before you go to your next blank frame. Okay, so if you use a scrub head there, I'll turn off onion skinning, you will see the rotoscoping effect. Now remember, this is a very basic rotoscoping effect and it's not of the greatest quality, but that is generally the way to go if you want to rotoscope using video in Flash.